Hey there, we're gonna do another episode here of What Is It? We did some of this earlier with some different terms in transportation and logistics. So what we're gonna try to define today is what is first and final mile. So just kind of something you may have heard before. What is it? What is first and final mile? So we're gonna try to take a stab at this. What is it? First, final mile is literally just a lot of what you probably would think. A lot of times with freight movement, let's say, for instance, we've got a warehouse here in Memphis, and then we've got another warehouse down in Atlanta. Let's say a customer calls us this afternoon and I'm sitting here in the Memphis office and they say, hey, we got a big box over here and we need it moved down to Atlanta, but we need it picked up today. So the first mile part would be we get this box picked up and we get it in our Memphis warehouse. So we get it picked up on the first mile and we get it delivered to our Memphis warehouse. Then it would go on what we call a line haul, which we've talked about in one of our other episodes, down to Atlanta. And then when it goes down to Atlanta, depending on when it needs to deliver, it would go through what we call the final mile portion. Obviously, you could reverse this and it could go, your first mile could start in Atlanta, your final mile could start in Memphis. You have your line haul portion, and then you have a short, basically, a regional Memphis metro area type pickup, and then you have a final Atlanta area type delivery. So there you've got your first and your final mile. So we'll just try to think through, how does that work? We've already kind of touched on this, but let's just go through. Internally in a transportation company like Easley, how we make that work is we have in Memphis guys on little, I shouldn't say little, sometimes they're very large, but we've got guys running around on route trucks. Sometimes they're like a 26-foot truck, sometimes they're 53-foot tractor trailers. And so we, as we're getting requests in throughout the day, can fulfill that first or final mile based on that Memphis warehouse being a distribution center. So that's how you can make it work, and you can make it work in real time to the tune of, in Memphis, we may do 300 or 400 of these a day. And by the way, we try to do it at a very low error rate because, most of y'all out there probably like to get your stuff. We operate at about a 99% success rate, really a little higher than that, where, you could call in and we could be doing this all day long, getting the first and final mile done. Then you would potentially tell us, well, where do you want us to go? Do you want to go to Atlanta? Do you want to go up to Chicago? Because we can take it up there for you. And we put it on another truck to get it up to, another city. It's typically literally going through the hands of maybe 2 different warehouses. So you got maybe 2 warehouses, maybe 3 different trucks, and multiple people handling it. So how does it work? Well, it's a lot of effort on our drivers and logistics, dispatch, warehouse, operations, just to make those simple moves work so that your boxes are showing up on time in Memphis or Atlanta or Chicago. Some of you may be asking and thinking, well, why go to all that trouble? What are the benefits of it? Why use some kind of service to do it like this? Well, kind of back to what we were talking about. You've got specific pickup or delivery times. So you got very specific timelines. So that's a real reason of why, you've got to use some kind of first and final mile, and there's multiple steps involved because there's very specific timelines involved. Outside of specific timelines, you have a cost measure involved. Well, so if we can pick up some shipments on those routes, we can hit timelines and keep costs down, and then put it on one large truck to move between the major cities. So you've got timelines, you've got cost. You may have other complexities to it. Some complexity in your service. It could be complexity in really, I guess, the supply chain, so that when we think about this, what could be going on? Well, the store in Atlanta or the store in Memphis doesn't have room for inventory or enough room for inventory, especially, hey, we're doing it in red today. it's getting that time of year for some Christmas shopping. So, maybe there's not enough room in the stores as far as inventory levels. So that could create complexity in the supply chain because the inventory needs to be there in a certain amount of, time or space. So you could have space constraints. You could have something unique about the product itself. You could have new releases of product. And so all of these things create complexity in supply chain. So these are just a few reasons why we have first and final mile. Maybe you guys or ladies that are in logistics, you may have some additional reasons. Leave us a comment below. Let us know if we can answer one of your questions. We like to talk about transportation and logistics. We think we know a thing or two, but we don't know everything. So just let us know how we can learn together. We appreciate you listening.